I turned 18 on a Tuesday, which already felt like a quiet kind of insult. I stood in our backyard holding a tray of cupcakes I had frosted myself, watching my phone like it might suddenly remember me. The lights were on, the chairs were set. Everything was ready except the people. I checked my messages again. No replies, no on the way, no excuses, just silence. Before I could decide what that meant, my mom's voice floated from the kitchen. "Emily, sweetheart, can you come inside for a minute?" The tone was careful, like she was stepping around broken glass. I carried the cupcakes in with me. This is an original story written by the author of the Revenge Sins channel, built from familiar social issues with the purpose of helping viewers reflect, heal, and draw meaningful lessons. The content is not intended to depict any real individual. My mom, Linda, stood at the counter with her phone in her hand. My dad, Mark, leaned against the fridge, arms crossed, eyes fixed on a spot just over my shoulder. No one looked at the cupcakes. I sent messages to everyone. My mom said, "Not meeting my eyes. We're going to cancel tonight." I laughed once because the word cancel sounded fake in my mouth. "Cancel what, the party?" she said. "It's just better this way." I set the tray down a little harder than I meant to. "Better for who?" She sighed, the long, patient sigh she used when she thought I was being unreasonable. "For the family." My brother Ryan came in from the hallway then, already scowling. He didn't look at me. He looked at the lights through the window. "If my week is ruined," he said, flat and loud. I don't see why hers should be special. Something in my chest went tight. "Ryan, it's my birthday." He shrugged. "You'll have another one." My dad finally spoke. "Let's not turn this into a thing. It's already a thing," I said. "You texted my friends." My mom lifted her phone like evidence. "I told them you weren't feeling well. No one needs details. You lied," I said. She flinched. I did what I had to do to keep things calm. I looked at my dad. "Did you know?" He didn't answer right away. Then, quietly, "Your brother had a rough day." "So that's it," I said. "His bad day cancels my birthday." Ryan scoffed. "You're being dramatic. Emily, I lost a whole trip. I was supposed to be in Bend for a concert. The car broke down. I'm exhausted. I work all the time. You're upset about cupcakes." My mom stepped between us. "He's under a lot of pressure. You're strong. You always have been." The words landed the way they always did, like a compliment that doubled as a dismissal. I picked up one cupcake and peeled the paper away with my thumb. "You didn't even ask me," I said. "You decided for me?" My mom reached for my arm, then stopped. "We'll make it up to you," she said. "Next weekend, something nicer." My dad nodded. "We'll do it right." Ryan rolled his eyes. "Can we move on now?" I set the cupcake back down, untouched. "I need some air," I said. As I turned toward the door, I thought about all the people who would have been here if someone hadn't decided my celebration was optional. If you're listening and something about this feels familiar, stay with me. What happened next didn't start with a scream. It started with a doorbell. Ryan had been home for less than 10 minutes before the house bent around his mood. He dropped his keys on the counter like punctuation. "The whole thing was a disaster," he said. "We didn't even make it past the pass." My mom leaned in immediately. "The car dead." Ryan snapped. "Towed. Hours waiting on the side of the road. And the concert was sold out by the time we turned back." He rubbed his face like the world had personally insulted him. "I lost the hotel deposit, too." My dad nodded, already aligning himself. "That's rough, son." I stood near the doorway, still holding the edge of my jacket. "I'm sorry your trip fell apart," I said. "But tonight was Ryan cut me off." "Don't," he said. "Just don't." My mom glanced between us. "Emily, now isn't the time. The time for what I said." For my birthday, Ryan laughed once, sharp and humorless. "You think I'm in the mood to celebrate anything?" I felt my voice steady itself. You don't have to celebrate me. You just have to not erase me. He turned to face me then, eyes tired and hard. If my week is ruined, I don't see why yours should be special. My mom didn't correct him. She didn't even pause. Ryan, my dad said, soft. Let's take it down a notch. Ryan gestured toward the backyard, toward the lights I'd strung myself. All that, he said. It feels like a joke right now. It's not about you. I said. My mom stepped closer to me. Honey, he's overwhelmed. So am I said. But nobody canceled his life. She pressed her lips together. You're different. You can handle things. Ryan leaned against the counter, suddenly calm. She always can, he said. That's kind of her thing. I looked at my dad. Are you okay with this? He avoided my eyes. I just want tonight to be quiet. The word quiet landed like a rule. My mom picked up her phone. I'll message everyone. We'll say you're not feeling well. I didn't say that. I said, I know. She replied, I'm saying it. Ryan exhaled, relieved. Good. My chest burned. So, because your trip failed, my birthday disappears? Ryan shrugged. You'll live. My mom touched my shoulder. We'll make it up to you. We always do. I stepped back. You never do. No one answered that. Ryan walked past me toward the couch. I'm going to lie down, he said. This day already took enough from me. As he disappeared down the hall, my mom kept typing. My dad stayed silent, and I stood there realizing something had shifted. It wasn't just that my birthday was gone. It was how quickly everyone agreed it should be. My mom called me back into the kitchen an hour later, like the damage might look smaller if enough time passed. Ryan was already there, slouched at the table with his phone in his hand. My dad stood by the counter, arms crossed, pretending the grout between the tiles needed his full attention. Sit, my mom said. I stayed where I was. You already decided everything without me. Why do you need me now? She inhaled through her nose. Because you're making this harder than it needs to be. Ryan didn't look up. Here we go. I looked at him. You said if your week was ruined, mine shouldn't be special. He glanced up then. Annoyed. I said I wasn't in the mood for fake happiness. My birthday isn't fake. I said, it's just inconvenient for you. My mom stepped in. Emily, stop framing it like that. Ryan had a terrible day. So did I said. You just didn't count it. My dad shifted. Can we lower our voices? No. I said. I've been quiet all day. Ryan scoffed. You're acting like we canceled your entire life. You canceled the one day that was supposed to be about me. I said. My mom folded her arms. You'll have many birthdays. This one doesn't have to be a big deal. I laughed, short and sharp. Then why does his bad mood get to be? That's not fair, she said. Your brother is more sensitive. The word sensitive hit harder than it should have. And I'm not. You're stronger, she replied quickly. You've always been. Ryan leaned back in his chair. See, even Mom knows. I turned to my dad. Do you agree with this? He hesitated just long enough to matter. I think your brother needs support right now. And I don't, I said. That's not what I said. It's what you meant. Ryan finally put his phone down. You don't get it, he said. I'm under pressure all the time. I work full time. I deal with customers. I keep things running. I deserve some slack. I didn't ask you to celebrate me. I said. I asked you not to take it away. He laughed. You're upset about cupcakes. My mom raised her voice. Enough. This family does not revolve around one person. I stared at her. It already does. Silence stretched across the room. I broke it. In 18 years, has there ever been a day that was actually about me? Ryan snorted. Oh my God. My dad looked away. My mom shook her head. That's dramatic. It's honest. I said, every time you say I'm strong, What you really mean is that I can be ignored. That is not true, she said. Then name one time you chose me when it cost you something. I said. No one spoke. Ryan pushed his chair back. This is ridiculous. I'm going to my room. He walked out without waiting for permission. My mom watched him go, then turned back to me. You shouldn't have pushed him. I nodded slowly. I didn't push him. I stopped shrinking. My dad finally looked at me, something uneasy in his eyes. Let's talk about this later. I shook my head. Later is how this keeps happening. No one argued with that. I went to my room and shut the door, but the kitchen followed me anyway. The voices didn't stop just because I left. They never did. They just lowered enough that I was supposed to pretend they weren't there. I sat on the edge of my bed and stared at the outfit I'd laid out that morning. I'd picked it because it felt like a line between who I was and who I was supposed to become. Now it just looked unused. My mom knocked once and opened the door without waiting. You didn't have to take it that far, she said. I didn't look up. It's always far when it's me. She crossed her arms. You know Ryan didn't mean it the way you're taking it. I know exactly how he meant it, I said. He's said it my whole life. Just not always out loud. She frowned. That's not fair. I finally looked at her. Movie nights, I said. Remember those? She blinked. What about them? I sat on the floor because Ryan's back hurt, I said. Every time. That was different, she said. He was in pain, and I wasn't. I said, I was just smaller. She sighed. You're twisting things. Road trips. I continued. The playlist was always his. If I picked a song, you laughed. That was joking. She said, it taught me to stop choosing. I said. She opened her mouth, closed it, then tried again. You always had what you needed. Ryan got a new laptop last year. I said. I got his old one because you said I didn't need anything fancy. You didn't, she replied. Defensive now. He needed it for work. I needed it to matter. I said. She shook her head. You're strong. You don't need the same things. That's the problem, I said. You decided that for me. From the hallway. Ryan's voice drifted in. Can you keep it down? Some of us had a terrible day. I didn't raise my voice. Some of us had our birthday erased. My mom turned toward the door, instinctively protective. Ryan, go lie down. He muttered something and the door slammed. She looked back at me. Softer now. You know we love you. I know you expect me to survive being overlooked, I said. That's not the same thing. She stood there for a moment, then said quietly, we did the best we could. I nodded. And I did the best I could with what you left me. She didn't answer that. The doorbell rang while my mom was still standing in my doorway, arms folded like she was guarding something fragile. We both froze. It rang again, longer this time, impatient. My dad called from the kitchen. I'll get it. I followed before my mom could stop me. When the door opened, Aunt Sarah stood on the porch with a small suitcase at her feet. She took one look past my dad's shoulder and frowned. Well, she said, this doesn't look like a party. My dad blinked. Sarah. We didn't know you were coming, I texted. She said, yesterday and this morning. Her eyes moved to me. Happy birthday. Emily. My mom appeared beside us instantly. Smile already in place. She's not feeling well, she said. We had to cancel. Sarah's gaze dropped to my clothes, then to my face. Sick, she repeated. Is that right? I opened my mouth, but my mom spoke first. Fever. We didn't want anyone getting exposed. Sarah nodded slowly, like she was filing that away. Interesting, she said. Then she turned to me. Emily, can I talk to you for a minute? My mom stiffened. There's really nothing to... I didn't ask you, Sarah said, not unkindly, just firm. We moved a few steps into the living room. The cupcakes were still visible on the counter. untouched. The lights outside were still on, waiting for people who weren't coming. Sarah lowered her voice. What actually happened? No one had asked me that all night. I swallowed. My brother had a bad day. I said, so my birthday didn't get to happen? My mom cut in. That's not fair. Sarah held up a hand. Let her finish. I kept going. Ryan came home angry. He said if his week was ruined, mine shouldn't be special. Mom texted everyone and said I was sick. No one told me until it was already done. Sarah looked at my parents. Is that true? My dad hesitated. We were trying to keep the peace. At her expense, Sarah said. Ryan's door opened down the hall. Why is she here? He called out. We're in the middle of something. Sarah turned toward the sound. Apparently, she said. My mom crossed her arms. You don't understand how sensitive Ryan is. Sarah's eyes stayed on her. I understand more than you think. She looked back at me, her voice softer. Is this just about tonight? I shook my head. No. Something in her expression changed then, like a line had been crossed. She took a breath. Okay, she said. Then we're going to talk. All of us. My mom's smile vanished. My dad straightened. Ryan stepped into the room, annoyed and alert. Sarah set her suitcase down by the door. Because whatever this is, she said, it's bigger than a canceled birthday. We gathered around the kitchen table like it was a courtroom no one had agreed to attend. Ryan leaned against the wall, arms crossed, already defensive. My mom stood beside him, close enough to shield him if needed. My dad took the chair closest to the counter, posture stiff, jaw tight. Aunt Sarah didn't sit. She rested her hands on the back of a chair and looked at all of them before she spoke. I came here to celebrate my niece, she said. Instead, I walked into a lie. My mom bristled. We were trying to protect everyone. By erasing her, Sarah said, nodding toward me. Ryan scoffed. This is ridiculous. She's blowing one night out of proportion. Sarah turned to him slowly. You missed a concert. That's disappointing. It doesn't give you the right to cancel someone else's milestone. You don't know what I'm dealing with, Ryan snapped. I work nonstop. I keep things running around here. My dad cleared his throat. Sarah, we appreciate your concern, but this is a family matter. Sarah's eyes didn't leave him. You're right. It is. That's why I need to be very clear about something. The room went quiet. For the past 18 months, she said, I've been wiring this household $3,800 every single month. My mom's face drained of color. You didn't have to say that. I absolutely did. Sarah replied. That money covered the cafe's rent, payroll gaps, inventory. Without it, that place near the transit hub would have closed. I felt my breath catch. You've been paying for the cafe. Sarah looked at me, regret flickering across her face. Your mother called me when things got bad. She said they were trying to keep the family stable. She said your birthday was important to her. My dad stared at the table. We never asked for charity. No, Sarah said. You asked for help. Repeatedly, Ryan laughed, sharp and dismissive. So what? Now you're holding it over our heads? I'm holding up a mirror, Sarah said. I didn't agree to fund a system where one child's bad mood outweighs the other child's existence. My mom stepped forward. You don't understand Ryan. He's sensitive. He needs support. Sarah's voice hardened. Being sensitive doesn't mean being entitled, and being strong doesn't mean being disposable. Ryan pushed off the wall. I didn't ask you to pay for anything. No, Sarah said. You benefited from it. There's a difference. My dad finally looked up. What are you saying? I'm saying I'm done. Sarah replied, no more monthly transfers. No more emergency calls. You're adults. You figure it out. My mom grabbed the edge of the counter. You can't just cut us off. We have obligations. Sarah nodded. So do I. To myself. And to her. She gestured to me again. The silence that followed felt heavier than any argument before it. Sarah turned toward me. Her voice softened. "Emily, I can't undo what happened tonight, but I can offer you a choice. If you want to come live with me in Portland, you can. No conditions, no guilt." My mom shook her head. "You're taking her away from us." "I'm giving her an option you never did," Sarah said. Ryan laughed again, but there was no humor left in it. "So this is what this is. She throws a fit, and you reward her." Sarah met his eyes. "No." She stopped disappearing. "And that makes you uncomfortable." No one argued with that. My mom found her voice first. "We can fix this," she said quickly. "We just need time." Ryan shook his head. "This is insane. She's overreacting, and now you're blowing everything up." Aunt Sarah didn't respond to him. She looked at me instead. "You don't have to decide right now," she said. "I'm offering, not pulling." My dad rubbed his hands together. "Emily, let's slow down," he said. "Everyone's emotional. I've been emotional for years." I said, "You just didn't notice." My mom stepped closer. "We'll do something next weekend, a real party, dinner, whatever you want." I met her eyes. "You're offering a redo because you got caught." "That's not fair," she snapped. "It's honest." I said, "You didn't stop because it hurt me. You stopped because someone else saw it." Ryan scoffed. "So what? You're just leaving walking out because things didn't go your way." I turned to him. "I'm leaving because things always go your way." My dad finally raised his voice. "Enough. This family is falling apart. It's been cracked for a long time." I said, "I just stopped holding it together." My mom's face tightened. "If you walk out that door, don't expect us to chase you." I nodded. "Then don't expect me to keep pretending this is normal." The room went quiet. Aunt Sarah cleared her throat. "I'll be staying in Portland for a while," she said calmly. "Emily can come with me, or not. It's her choice." My mom looked at me like she was searching for the version of me that used to give in. "You're being impulsive," she said. "You're letting anger decide for you." I shook my head. "I'm letting clarity decide." Ryan laughed under his breath. Unbelievable. I walked past him toward my room. No one followed. No one called my name. I packed quickly, hands steady, like my body had already made the decision before my mouth caught up. When I came back down with my bag, my mom was crying. My dad stood beside her, silent. Ryan was on his phone. "This doesn't have to be permanent," my dad said. I looked at all of them. It already was. I just finally noticed. Aunt Sarah opened the door. Cool air rushed in, sharp and clean. She waited for me to step outside before closing it behind us. No one tried to stop me. Portland didn't fix anything overnight. It just gave me room to hear myself think. Aunt Sarah let me take the spare bedroom without ceremony. "You're safe here," she said, like it was a fact, not a favor. We didn't talk about my parents that first night. We ate leftovers on the couch and watched whatever I picked. No one complained. No one sighed. My phone didn't stay quiet for long. My mom texted first. "I'm sorry you felt hurt." Then came a paragraph about stress, about Ryan being fragile, about how families sometimes make hard choices. I read it twice and felt nothing land. My dad's message was shorter. "Hope you're settling in. We miss you." They never mentioned the lie about me being sick. A few days later, my mom tried again. This time she talked about the cafe, how rent was coming up, how Aunt Sarah cutting them off had put everyone on edge. "She listens to you," she wrote. "You're reasonable." I stared at the word reasonable until it felt hollow. Reasonable was what they called me when they needed me to bend. I showed the messages to Aunt Sarah. She didn't read them out loud. She just nodded. "They're not asking how you are," she said. "They're asking what you can fix." I took a part-time job at a small bookstore near campus. On my first shift, the manager asked what schedule worked for me. I froze for a second before answering. No one had ever asked me that without already knowing what they wanted. That night, my mom called. I let it go to voicemail. She left a message anyway. Voice tight. "We don't understand why you're doing this," she said. "Ryan's struggling. The shop is barely holding on. You've always cared about this family." I texted back once. I cared. I just stopped disappearing. The next day, she sent another message, longer, sharper. "If you really want to come home, then help us fix this." I didn't reply. Aunt Sarah watched me set my phone face down. "You don't owe them a solution," she said. I nodded. "I know." That night, I lay awake thinking about how quiet my life had become. Not empty, just quiet. For the first time, my absence was loud to the people who had never noticed my presence. I waited 3 days before I sent the message, not because I was unsure, but because I needed to be certain I wasn't asking for something I didn't actually want. Aunt Sarah sat across from me at the kitchen table, laptop open, giving me space. "Whatever you decide," she said, "make sure it tells you the truth." So I typed it carefully. "If you really want me to even consider coming home, Ryan needs to move out. He's 22. He can live on his own. I will only think about coming back if you choose me this once." I read it again, then hit send. The typing bubble appeared almost immediately. Then it vanished. Hours passed. Then a full day. The silence felt deliberate, like a meeting I wasn't invited to. On the second night, my phone buzzed. My mom's message was long, formal, calm in a way that felt rehearsed. "We've talked and prayed about what you said," she wrote. "We are not going to throw our son out of his home. Ryan is struggling. Asking him to leave so you can feel prioritized is cruel." I kept reading. "It's become clear that you only want to come back if it's on your terms. That isn't love. That's manipulation. You've turned your aunt against us, and because of that, she's cut us off. Do you understand what you've done to this family?" My chest tightened, but I didn't stop. "We've had to borrow money to keep the cafe running. We're humiliated. After everything we sacrificed for you, this is how you repay us." The last line came after a pause, like it was the point. "We will always love you. But if you insist on acting this way, we have no choice but to let you go and focus on the child who still cares about this family." I stared at the screen until the words stopped blurring together. There it was, not implied, not softened, written out, clean and final. Aunt Sarah watched my face. "They chose," she said quietly. I nodded. They already had. This just made it official. I typed 3 words back. "Thank you. Goodbye." Then I blocked the number. My mom's, my dad's, Ryan's, the family group chat, every thread that led back to that house. My thumb shook when I confirmed it. My body still expected consequences. None came. I set the phone down and exhaled. Slow and steady. The choice they'd avoided for years had finally been made. Not by me, but for me. And for the first time, I wasn't waiting to be picked. The silence didn't feel empty after that. It felt earned. A few weeks later, Aunt Sarah came home one evening and set her keys down slowly. "Your mom called my office," she said. I didn't pick up. I nodded. "You don't have to." "I know," she replied. "I just wanted you to hear it from me. We didn't say anything else about them. We didn't need to. News arrived the way it always does when you stop looking for it. A cousin posted a photo online of the cafe. The sign replaced, a paper taped to the window announcing new management. Someone commented that things had been rough for months. Another said the staff had been let go quietly. I showed the post to Aunt Sarah. She glanced at it once. "That wasn't your job to prevent," she said. "I know," I answered. And this time, I meant it. On my 19th birthday, a few people from the bookstore surprised me after my shift. One of them had bought a lopsided cake from the grocery store. Someone else lit the candles. No speeches, no tension. no one watching to see if the moment would be taken away. Aunt Sarah raised her glass. "To choosing yourself," she said. I smiled. "To not disappearing." Later that night, as we cleaned up, she touched my shoulder. "If you ever want to tell this story," she said, "tell it the way it actually felt. Not loud, just true." That stayed with me. So, if you're listening to this and something in it sounds familiar, take a moment. Sit with it. You don't have to decide anything tonight. Sometimes the bravest step isn't leaving all at once. It's admitting that your pain matters. And if this story resonated with you, stay. Listen to the next one. Share it with someone who might need it. You're not alone in this quiet part. I didn't leave to punish them. I left because staying meant disappearing, and I was done with that.